If you don't know these 7 steps to building a mud pan, you suck, and you're not a real tile guy. But good news, I've got cheat codes. Step 1 was yesterday. We prepped and hung all of our board and set our curb. That gives us a stiff perimeter to build our mud pan to. If you try and set your curb on the same day that you're building a mud pan, you're going to be pressing against that wet curb and it's going to move and it's going to blow out. So get that done on day 1. You come in day 2 and you're ready for mud pan. Step 2, you're going to need a vapor barrier. The reason for that is your subfloor will draw the moisture out of the bottom of your mud pan. It won't cure right and it'll be weak. Now you can see we use Ditra for our vapor barrier. It's not an uncoupling membrane for the mud pan. That's not what it's for. You can easily use tar paper slip sheets, but refer to your NTCA guidelines on size of your shower and mud pan, because you get to a certain size, you're going to need some reinforcing mesh wire in there as well. But at this size, we're good for just a vapor barrier. Step 3, drain placement and flange height. Now you're going to plan on packing deck mud below this drain flange. That drain height is going to be determined by the minimum thickness for your deck mud. For ours, it's 3/4 of an inch. Well, one little cheat code that we do is we actually build a foam spacer ring to go beneath the flange. The reason we use that little spacer, number 1, is it's going to set our flange perfectly level because I know my floor is level. Number 2, it gives us about 7/8 thickness on that deck mud at the drain flange. Step 4, finding your slope. Now it's actually simple math. You're going to make that calculation based on the furthest distance from the drain. Now in this case, because this is almost a square, that measurement is going to be to the corner. Now the distance from the corner to our drain is a little bit less than 3 foot, so I'm going to say it's 3 foot. Now that means 1/4 inch per foot. That's 3/4 of an inch. So the simple math for that is I've got 1 inch from the floor to the top of my drain flange. I'm going to add 3/4 of an inch to that, 1.75 inches, and that is going to be the measurement that I pull on the outside perimeter for slope. Step 5, marking your perimeter. I'm going to take a simple measurement from the floor and mark 1.75 inches on the wall. From that point, I'm going to take a laser and I'm going to shoot that laser around, put it on that mark, and that's going to show me my entire perimeter. Cheat code number 2, the mortar lock ledger. Now normally the next step in this process would be to mix up deck mud, throw it around your perimeter, and tamp it down to that laser line. Then you would fill the field with mud, tamp and screed, and get it right. But this handy dandy tool is going to save a lot of trouble. The problem that solves is normally when you run your mud perimeter and you're screeding to it, your screed will dig into that perimeter and then you've got to do some resetting on your mud. This gives you a firm base to screed to. You never have to worry about digging into your perimeter. I'm just going to peel a little bit back to get it started. Now that's a cool cheat code. If you've followed us for a while, you know I'm all about taking thinking out of things and using tools to build efficiency. That's an efficient tool. Now every mud's a little bit different, but there's 2 factors that I look at when it comes to consistency of a deck mud. Let's keep it simple. We look at our compaction. When I pick this mud up, I want to be able to squeeze it 1 time, and when I release it, it stays together. You see that? But at the same time, I want to be able to press my thumb in it, and it collapses. It's that simple. That's a good indicator of a good mixed deck mud. Step 6, mud time. Since we're using these ledger locks from tilecoach.com, what we're going to do is we're going to take that mud, we're going to pack it in beneath the ledger and into the locking channel of that ledger. We're going to do that all the way around, and then we're going to come in, place our drain flange in place, pack mortar underneath it, and then we'll be ready to fill our field. So now we've got our perimeter locked in to that ledger lock. It's time for us to pack some mud under this flange here. One cool thing about this cheat code here is normally without this perimeter dam here, when you pack mud in here, it falls down in the hole. Not this way. You can pack right to this and make sure that you don't have any fall through, which can create a small little void in there. We're going to set our flange in place and then tamp that mud in underneath to get a nice firm base for this drain flange. Okay, so our drain flange is now packed in, secured. You want to double check level on your flange after you pack it in with mud. You can make some minor adjustments through tamping it. For this, I'm using the plug level from Crown Tools. Really cool invention. It just gives you an overhead view with a bubble level that lets you know that you're level both ways. Now, if you don't have that, it's easy, torpedo level. Just check it both ways, right? The other cool thing about that plug level is mud doesn't get down in the hole. So now the idea here, just like any tiling, is to start at the back of the cavity, work your way out. That way you're not working yourself into a corner. So I'm going to fill this entire back void of this shower. Since I don't have to do a lot of thinking, I'm going to fill that entire area in, get a little pre-tamp in. You don't want to go too heavy on the tamp. Get an initial screed, add a little more, and then we're going to use our float to kind of smooth and tamp it at the same time. I'm just going to get the majority of my mud filled into here, drag it back to the drain flange, same over here. And you see I'm kind of tamping with the edge of my float here. I don't want to over tamp it. So I'm just doing a little bit of edge tamping to kind of fill those air pockets and any empty voids there. I'm really just trying to go over grade just a little. So I want to go over that ledger just a little bit because I know I've got to tamp and screed it off to get it perfectly flush. So now you see I'm lightly tamping. I'm not really getting down on it. I'm just lightly tamping it to kind of shape it. If you get some buildup on your float, rub it on the floor or against another float. It'll smooth it back down for you. Okay, so now here I'm going to take a 2-foot level and a 3-foot level, and I'm going to use them as screeds. You can also get screed boards, and I'm going to take it, I'm going to place it on the flange and on the perimeter ledger, and I'm going to then shift it back and forth. Now you see I kind of started in the middle there to kind of work myself back and forth, and then I'll work my way out. Think of this screeding as you're cutting, you're slicing that top layer off. If this isn't tamped good enough, when you do that, it's going to drag and pull. But if you get it tamped just right, it's going to shear it right off. So now we've got this portion of the pan initially screeded. I'm going to take my wooden float now. I'm going to smooth it down. So you've got the perfect slope, 3/4 of an inch of slope. You've got a nice straight line, no humps, no bumps, and there's no ridges in your mud. That's what you're looking for. Now we're going to continue going around the clock, doing the same thing. Easy peasy. That's all there is to it. As we screed this around and we feel good about it, we need to smooth it before it starts to cure up a little more. Now as I work those two angles in, I know this is going to be my excess. I like to take a steel trowel then and then just kind of skim that off the top, and I'll dump it back in my bucket. So now you've got your initial and your rough pan built. The last thing I'm going to do to finalize this pan is I'm going to slick it a little bit with my steel trowel. And basically what that's going to do is any of that residual powder mud, it's going to slick it down into the mud. You'll get a nice smooth surface. That way tomorrow you come in and you can waterproof it with your membrane. Make sure you're applying your pressure upward and backward as you travel. That way you don't dig in with a corner. So that's how you build a mud pan to integrate with a Schluter system. If you follow all those steps, you won't suck anymore.